Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it's a cold, nippy morning here in Alabama. We're just barely out of the 40s. I'm out here looking around. Mr. Jackson came by a couple of days ago and brought me, literally Mr. Jackson style, a yellow corn feed sack full of lilies. And I've planted them a couple of different clumps here and there. Not the best time of the year to be planting bulbs, but he said he found them in a pasture. He was helping out a gentleman who having some issues and couldn't walk his fence line, and he was helping him, and noticed he's growing all over part of this pasture, and he dug up a few clumps, brought them to me with permission, and he said there's also a bunch of daffodils there that instead of having a normal tubular type bloom, they had a big, like a mop head on them, big. He said some of them were variegated, some were solid yellow, but he said it was the weirdest thing he ever saw. He's going to try and get me a couple of clumps of those too. Never seen those. Anyway, I'm just out looking around this morning. Mama's been busy planting up things. Bed looks better. We're still getting a little too cool at night to put plants out. During the daytime it's really nice, but in the evening we're getting a little bit too cool still. I love these things. These are gorgeous. Even without flowers, they're beautiful. Still got some work to do, clean up the beds. I was going to answer a question I get asked a lot. I need to go ahead and answer it. And I don't mind. Not a problem. Not a problem. These are just starting to open up here, and they're loaded with buds too. Loaded. My background in hydroponics, my growing experience. How pretty is that? That's wonderful to see first thing in the morning. I didn't go to school for hydroponics. I did go to school for growing, period. I've never taken botany or plant physiology or horticulture classes ever. I'm self-taught in that respect. I went to school. I'm an engineer, a structural engineer, civil. I'm a structural engineer, design, and with some geotech background. Early on in my career, I did a lot of geotech work, soil testing, concrete testing, pre-stress, post-tension cable systems, structural parts, structural concrete pieces. And I got called one day to a job site to do some soil testing for several days, checking some stuff out, and it happened to be a hydro farm, and I had several days to observe their operation and how they grew things and all the controls and technology and testing and monitoring, and I was a young gearhead at the time, and I just got hooked, overwhelmingly just got hooked. Just fell in love with it. Volunteered to help, ended up helping other people, learned more, it just kept going on and kept going on over some time. And I started doing it on my own. I've grown in every media you can think of. I've grown in inert medias before. I've grown in rock wool. I love rock wool. I've grown in cocoa for years. I've grown in hydrotone for years. There's probably hundreds of pounds of hydrotone and cocoa and stuff mixed throughout our beds out here. Excuse me. Little sniffles this morning. But I didn't go to school. I don't have a formal education, and I'm self-taught. I'm a voracious reader. I'm a voracious learner. I love to, once I get involved in something, I like to find out everything I can about it, take it to the end, so to say. Just always been that way, especially when it comes to learning something new like that. Anyway, I just got into it. I've grown in everything from Dutch bucket, multiple Dutch bucket systems, to flood and drain, to floating mat systems, to full-on hydro with pumps, chillers, reservoirs, and everything. I've pretty much grown in all of it. It's always wondered me why, with all the different medias out there, and everybody grows orchids differently, but with all the different medias out there, moss and bark and hydrotone and semi-hydroponics and all this different stuff that you see people grow in, and I grow in lava rock and river rock and gravel. I mean, it's got to make people, I would think it'd make people wonder, why with all this other stuff, why does he keep growing in rock? Why is that my preferred choice? Anyway, Did y'all ever wonder why? Remember that question, why I keep telling everybody to ask all the time? Anyway, that's my hydroponics background. I just really got into it. I got into it big time. Grew a lot at home, and because I was on the road all the time, traveling with my, with my work, it was an easy way to grow. If I was going to be somewhere for 6 to 8 months or a year, I knew I could put buckets out on a deck or on a balcony of an apartment or a condo or whatever they had me set up in, and I could grow hydroponically real easy without having to worry about dirt and bugs and all this other stuff that comes with it. It's just so simple and so clean, and I was just overwhelmed with the reaction that they got on these plants too. The fact that they could, something that took 6 months to grow outside a whole season, they could grow inside in a month. They could get 5 or 6 turnovers of the same plant in the same amount of time, and the plants would be larger, bigger, the fruit or whatever they were producing, the head of lettuce. I never knew there were so many different varieties of leaf lettuce. It's incredible. But the produce, the product produced at the end is so much better looking in hydroponics than something that's grown on soil with bugs and slugs and snails and stuff like that crawling all around them. I was just hooked on it big time, just big time. I remember I told you to look in flower beds. If you want to know if somebody's into hydro, look in their flower beds. And that'll tell you. You can see all the hydrotone, and there's perlite everywhere. Just, I've grown in hydrotone for years. And they're all good. Media is a tool. I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, is media is a tool. You have to use the right tool for the right job, period. Anyway, that's my background. I'm sure if somebody with some horticulture background or education reviews my videos, I'm sure they're going to say that's not exactly right, and that he missed a good point there, or this one's not explained perfect, and he might have missed on this a little bit, and this needs to be added or something. But I'm just trying to hit the highlights. Again, I'm new to orchids. I consider myself a good grower. I consider myself a very good hydroponic grower. I used to be really, really, really good at this. I mean, really good at this, and discussing it and talking about it. And I have got some other people set up in hydroponics and shown them how to grow and got them started. They've been doing it for years very successfully. But I'm not a teacher of it, that's for sure. When I first got 6, 7 years ago, and I hate to even mention this, but it has a bearing on the whole topic. When I first got 6, 7 years ago, crows, wonder what they're upset about. Anyway, when I first got 6, 7 years ago, I lost my memory. I forgot who people were. I couldn't remember my wife. I couldn't remember what city I lived in. I mean, it just got real bad for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. I came back from that, but I lost a lot of memory, and things are fuzzy, and I have a little bit of trouble explaining myself sometimes or getting the right words across. And I think everybody's very aware of that. So anyway, that's my growing background. That's all there is to it. I'm self-taught. I'm sure people can tell. But like I've said before, I'm a voracious reader. I love to learn, and I know how to look stuff up. It's not that difficult. And I remember enough when I used to grow and what the tools I used to use, for looking stuff up. I remember all that. Some of it's coming back. It's all there. It just needs to be jogged occasionally. But because I'm new to orchids and because I don't have a formal education on it, that's why when people ask me questions, I look things up, or I'm hesitant to answer, or I just give a quick, here's the gist of it kind of answer. There's no reason to get into a lot of details, not with what we're trying to accomplish here and what we're trying to do. So I hope that answers that question. Everybody's very kind. Everybody says wonderful things about my plants. I appreciate it so much. But I'm just like everybody else. I'm new to orchids, and I'm just trying to take what I know in hydroponics and adapt it to them. They grow hydroponically. They grow in that range of pH absorption. They absorb their nutrients in that manner. They're very much a hydroponic type plant in how they grow. A lot of plants are. And because of that, that's what attracted me to them. The videos is what first got me hooked, was watching people's videos in their greenhouses and stuff. But Then I got a couple of plants, killed them, and then at that point had to figure it out. At that point, just had to. And I'm here now. When I first started doing videos a year ago, it was mainly just to document things because of what's going on in my life, and you know, to cover some stuff for some people later on. That hasn't changed, but channel has grown out of it since then. But things haven't really changed; they've just progressed. Regardless, that's my background. That's my growing experience, and I'm still just learning right along with everybody else. I'm going to go back inside. It's a little bit nippy out here, but it feels good just to stand in the sunshine and enjoy it. It looks like we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful sunny day with baby blue skies. So enjoy your weather, whatever it is, and get out and work in your garden. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all those wonderful comments, thoughts, prayers. It means the world to me. Thank you.